What a great pleasure it is to have my buddy right across the table, Mr. Joe Galea. Joe, welcome.
Thank you, Cha. It's a pleasure for me.
Mate, it's a pleasure to have you here. I've been asking you for a while, but you've been very busy. And finally, we end up in my backyard here to have a little bit of a chit-chat, mate.
It's as best place as any, isn't it?
Yes, it is,
Best place as any.
Tell me something, Joe. Joe Galea, fabulous Joe Galea. First of all, Joe, do you mind telling your age to the people?
I came to Australia very young. We migrated out here in 1955.
And how long you been in Australia?
Since 1955.
So that's 50 years.
51.
And you came to Australia very young.
Very young.
Oh, well, so all right. We're not going to tell them how old you are, but we can tell you're ready for the pension.
Well, I'll tell you because age is wisdom. 62.
62 years old, Joe. God bless you. Really, really, mate. And you're still going strong. Okay, Joe, I want to take you back to Malta. Joe Galea, a little kid, walking the streets. The first time you remember you're alive, sort of, 3, 4, 5 years old. Tell me your story. When you start to remember, you know, that you're alive, how did you get into singing and music-wise?
Yeah.
Where did you live?
Well, the funny thing about it, see, I can go back. I think I was only about 2 years old when I started walking. I can go back that far. I remember that far.
You remember that?
I remember I was crawling and I went up to my grandmother. She was very old, and I remember she gave me a halfpenny at Hamroon in the house there. Yeah. Well, see, I always liked. I mean, my whole family's they're musicians. You know, starting from my grandfather. I believe he was a very good clarinet player. One of my uncles, he was a leading violinist in Europe, I believe. And he used to teach and all that. And he played in big theaters in Italy.
But that's your uncle, Joe.
That's my uncle.
Joe Galea, 4 years, 5 years old.
All right,
Tell
4
me,
years, 5 years old.
Did you already start being interested in music at that age?
Yes. To tell you the truth, I used to like the Anna. I used to like Anna because my father had those big 78 records,
yes.
Tachilia, Tap at the dot and some of that. And I used to like them. But then I went to school at the Rahal at St. Joseph's. And I remember I used to know 2 songs, and every lunchtime the teacher used to ask me to get up and sing these damn 2 songs.
Do you remember what they were?
And I forgot what they were about, but I still remember the end of one of them. Chin, 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 tight min. It was about a woman. She was going to bed, and all of a sudden, in the middle of the night, she heard a knock on the door, and so she got up. But it's a song, you know, that rhymes,
yes.
And it finishes like this: chin, 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 tight min G. Tin chin 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 staqsiti, chin 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 tajt min ġi. It-taraġ bġirja kbira, niżlet fixklet fil-ħasira. Imweġġa il-bib fetħet ħalli taqta l-kurzita. U wara da xogħol kollu xissib, issib raġel xieħla qalilha, Sinjura Karita.
Wow, how old were you then, Joe?
I would have been about 5.5, 6 years old.
And you remember that
Yes,
time?
and I still remember what she did. She got up and she لبست الشنيو, whatever that is, وعملت الترة مع وجهها واللفتك قدام الباب مش هتقدر الدوتش and all that.
Tell me, you were born in Hamroon?
Yes, I was born in Hamroon.
What schools did you go to?
I went, well, to start with, I remember me going to St. Venera, the kindergartens there, I think it was. Then I went to Hamroon, the School at Hamroon.
Yes.
Then from there I went to St. Joseph.
Which one, the school at Hamroon? Was there 1 or 2? Or?
I wouldn't have a clue.
You wouldn't have a clue? Okay, all right.
I don't know which
because
one
you were
it was.
very young when you came
I know
here.
it was a very big school.
Yeah.
Then it looked big to me anyway. And then more to St. Joseph, and then from St. Joseph I went back to Hamroon.
Right.
Then from Hamroon we came here.
Then you came here. How old were you when you came here, Joe?
I was 9.
You was 9?
No, I was 10.
10 years old.
10 years.
Okay. Where did you go to school here, Joe?
I went to the roughest school in New South Wales. It was those days, Burke Street.
Burke Street in Sydney?
Burke Street High School, yes.
Wow.
It was very rough those days. I mean, that was in Surrey Hills. We used to live in Cleveland Street in a boarding house. We had 1 room.
Wouldn't you like to own that boarding house now, Joe?
Well, that particular boarding house now is where the restaurant Demetrius is.
Wow.
And actually, we helped him, my brother and I, because he bought the house next to the boarding house where we used to live. And we helped him set up the tables for his first opening nights. I remember my brother and I, we were wrapping up the forks and knives and these little serviettes on the table. And now he bought the house where we used to board, and it's Dimitri's restaurant.
So you stayed at school till about 14, 15?
I stayed at school till I was 15.
You started music then already?
Oh, yes, yes. Oh, yes, I started music when I was about 11, 12 years old.
And girlfriends?
Oh, well, chasing me. Yeah, but
okay, and
keep
then,
that a secret between us, like.
That's okay. And 15, and then I know you're a tradesman, Joe. Let's tell the people what you actually do. What's your trade?
My trade is I restore antiques, a lot of antique furniture.
It's like French polishing.
Yeah, French polishing. I do French polishing. Malta, I do a lot of the stopping and all that.
Yeah.
I do a lot of that, but in this country, that type of work, you know, like the old time, the stopping, with shellac and all that, it's very expensive because it's very too much labor in it, you know, to do it.
You started this when you was 15? You started?
Yeah, that was,
this?
I started my apprenticeship. I was apprenticed for 5 years. And then I came first throughout the course in New South Wales in the trade, actually.
Well, only just recently I saw some of your work and I was amazed, to be honest.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, and you know. But anyway, let's carry on. So Joe Galea now is 20 and he's a tradesman.
Yes.
And Joe Galea is got the world at his feet. He plays music. He starts to get well known singing.
Yeah.
He's a tradesman. How did life treat you then, Joe? Did you have a good time?
Oh yes. I tell you the truth. If I have to live my life again, I think I'll do the same thing. Because I used to work with some lovely old people. You know, they used to be old diggers from Redsoft to Brook and all that. And they taught me a lot. But besides going to tech once a week, you know, and all that. I'm teaching at tech myself, you know, that's the thing.
That's fantastic.
I teach 2 nights a week.
When did you meet your wife, Joe?
I met my wife when I was about 11 years old because her brother used to come to school with me. And we made friends together, Tony, and then I used to go to his place after school on our push bikes and all that. They used to live at Redfern, at Waterloo at first. And from Berkshire we used to go to Waterloo. And then I used to ride my push bike to Surrey Hills, to our boarding house. But then we moved from there, we moved to St. Peter's.
So,
and I know my wife's family practically since only after a few months we landed here, we got to know them. Because those days, you know, the Maltese always looked for other Maltese families.
How old were you guys when you got married, Joe?
I was 22.
Right, and so you've got kids now that's, you know, I mean...
Oh yes, my oldest son, he's 39.
Wow.
Yeah, he's 39, yeah.
That's good, that's good. Okay, you got married, you had your first kid, you bought your first house, Joe. Where, what happened? I want to know everything about Joe.
All right, well, we got married, when we got married, we rented a house at Granville.
Right.
Was it Granville then?
That's where you are now, in Granville?
That's right, yes. Well, our house was right opposite the railway lines. Well, that's where we used to live. We used to live, you know, not far from Ball Street Bridge. We used to see Ball Street Bridge from our house.
Okay. So you hired, back to the story, you hired a house there?
Yeah, then we rented a house, but then, you know, I've saved a bit of deposit type of thing, and then we bought a house at Greystanes at Dennis Street.
And then you formed a band?
Oh, yeah, well, I was in bands way before that. No, I was in band. See, my brother-in-law, they used to call themselves the Rock Tigers. Right. And he got engaged to my sister. He was a drummer, Tony. And because I was young and I used to sing a bit of rock and roll, and they were like a lot older than me, but a lot older. I mean, we're talking about they were in the 28, 30 years old, but I was about 15, 16. So they used to take me with them, and I used to play the guitar as well, to sing a bit of rock and roll, Elvis Presley stuff. And
how come we all started singing rock and roll, Joe? Unbelievable, isn't it? And so
yeah.
every time I remember myself used to be at the dance, we want Charlie, I used to get up, I want bubble, everybody
starts on rock and roll.
Everybody starts on rock and roll.
Yes.
Okay, now